It's the show that puts the fun in fundraising for health tech. It can only be the February 16th episode of Health in 2.00.
So, Jess, I noticed that you had the on the day of the IPO interview with Carl Ambrester.
Oh my God, I'm getting closer and closer. The next thing you know, I'll be there. I had this out-of-body experience, Matthew Holt, that I was like on CNBC for like a hot second. Because Carl Armbruster was like literally sitting on like the something floor of this giant office building with all of New York behind him. He just rung the bell. He stopped by to talk to me. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
So they went out at like value of 5 billion and actually started trading at 7.5 billion.
Yeah, they were supposed to open at 24, went out at 32. So the company's value, it's 7.1 billion. They raised 564 million. This is a value-based care play. And actually in this interview, Kyle did a really good job of explaining that and how it connects to their business model. So
more importantly, who owns it? I do.
No, you do not own it. It's the other Matthew Holt who has a very nice stake in that company.
So annoying, so upsetting. Oh,
once again,
man.
as if things weren't hard enough. Once again, it was a terrible day to be the wrong Matthew Holt for you.
Yes, I'm like an old mountain, lack of capital, and he's a new mountain capital, and they own both the companies, right? Remedy and whatever that Signify was called, and they kind of crammed together and put Kyle in charge. Kyle stopped returning my calls ages ago. I used to call him up at his scene and ask him for money all the time, and he stopped. And I guess some other guy called Matthew Holt called him and offered him money, and he picked the phone up. All right, well done to those guys. And by the way, other thing that came out is that ShareCare is going to spec out as well. That's an interesting one. There was some back and forth about that. And we haven't even got into our 2 minutes yet. Should we get into the 2 minutes?
No, I know. Isn't Anthem in that? They're funding that SPAC, right?
No. So Anthem has a big part of a company called Doc.ai, not to be confused as I did with Care.ai, which ShareCare has bought as part of the whole thing. It's confusing as hell, but that's basically an entire panoply of stuff that a health plan might need to kind of get online and involve with members. They didn't have Anthem as one of their clients, so kind of they bought Doc.ai to kind of get Anthem and get whatever Doc.ai's woo-woo technology is. But there'll be more about that to come. All right, should we do the 2 minutes? We haven't got there yet.
Let's do this.
All right.
All right, more woo-woo technology. Zocdoc, one of the oldest woo-wooers out there, 150 million. This is like an old school appointment schedule. How? What's going on?
Yeah. I mean, they've had they raised a ton of money, got a huge valuation in the late zeros and early 2000s. Kind of had a back and forth. One of their CEOs quit and started suing the new guys, and it's back and forth on that. But what actually happened there is that during they've kind of got themselves the ship righted, and during the pandemic they've both added telehealth, which is doing pretty well, and they've also added vaccine appointment scheduling, and they're actually doing pretty well. I think they're like the city of Chicago, and some others are using them. So whether that's going to last, I don't know. I mean, a lot of money's gone into this company over the years, including from the Yuri Milner, the Facebook guy, and maybe they'll get out. I expect they'll be spacking out very quickly because this money is from Francisco Partners, which is a big private equity firm, and I'm not sure they're going to hang around for a long time.
All right. What about RapidSOS? More money for them, 85 million, bringing their total to 220. This is a infrastructure play for first responders.
It is indeed, and I wish I knew more about it than that. It's some way like you can attach a bunch of other stuff to the 911 call. They seem to be doing very well, growing very fast. Kevin O'Leary from Health Tech Reads thinks this is a really cool company, so we'll just say it must be good.
All right. What about Capital RX? This is that startup PBM, AJ Loiacono. 50 million more for them. They raised money last year. This brings their total to 101.
Well, I would refer everyone to the great interview you did with AJ like a few months back. Basically, it's a transparency plan PBMs. They say the PBMs are murky and no one knows what happens inside the numbers, and they're trying to make that transparent. AJ came from a company called Truveris, I think, which had a similar deal earlier on. Been very hard to crack that world of PBMs over the years. A lot of people have tried to do different things. We were wishing them luck, and they've got a couple of deals with Walmart's one and some others. But, yeah.
That's right. All right, what about Equip? They are a eating disorder startup. They've raised 13 million, bringing their total up to 17.
That's
Is that rooster?
going, but I've got a Quip in there. So Quip, I know these guys, this team very well. This is a dynamic duo, female team, but led by Christina Saffron, who was herself somebody who had eating disorder in her teens. Talked about Health 2.0. I've met up with her a bunch of times. Really interesting. She started a non-profit, which was called Project Hope, to basically pay for people who couldn't afford it to go to the intensive, intensive therapy in a facility, which takes about a month. And what happened is the people coming out of those facilities and were falling off the cliff, falling off the wagon. So instead, she started building a system of peer support and counseling support for people as they left those facilities. And it turned out, she didn't even go to the facility. Then I do what they call family-based therapy. And while she was doing this, both Anthem and United got very interested and said, can we start paying for this? And she went, oh, I haven't got a network. So she went off and built this company called Kip, which is basically putting the combination of all these different things. It's a bit like a mental health addiction play, but it's in this very specialized eating disorders area, which is a big deal. These people cost a lot of money. They have a lot of mental health problems. They have a lot of high death and suicide rate. They raised about $4 million this time last year. And just to bump that round up, Optum Ventures in there, 406 is in there, and a bunch of others.
Very cool.
Really interesting play. And I wish Christina a lot of luck. I mean, it's going to be it's a needed one. And as yet, I don't think anybody else is doing eating disorders. So I'm sure people.
No, I love this. So great. Very good. Very cool space.
Absolutely. Plus, I can now stop giving a charity money because it's all for profit. I'm sure Project Hope will be hitting me up again. They're still going.
And it always comes back around to what's convenient for you.
Of course, yes. She also has Susanna Fox and a couple of other smart people as advisors. So well on her.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's good for her. Congratulations on that. We need to go find the other Matthew Holt and see where he's at.
I have no idea why you're still talking to me and not him.
I've tried to ping him on LinkedIn to see if he would just
Younger,
take over
better
for you.
looking, richer, smarter. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm feeling inadequate. You could get the male model from London. There's a male model in London called Matthew Holt.
He was good too. I don't know why I have this.
Why are you stuck with me? Very sad. I apologize.
Well, maybe it's the snark that we love so much that people can go and find on Twitter. So to check that out and see the millions of reasons why we love this Matthew Holt that we're stuck with, check out Bolty Boy over there on Twitter. I'm at Jess Tomasa if you'd like to follow me. And you can subscribe to our email newsletter over on thehealthcareblog.com and never miss an episode of Health in 2.0 or any of the important content that is being released on the blog. And that includes the posts by our contributors, as well as some interviews that Matthew mentioned here in the show today that I'm doing, and the THCB gang. So yeah, check that out. Sign up for the newsletter. It's coming out Fridays now. That's news.
We've moved from Thursday to Friday, so it's a massive change.
You can just waste an entire Friday afternoon digging through this content.
All right, we better not waste any more time. Say bye.
Bye.